we have a joint discussion by John Matthew Sinclair and Marc Gayle as they help you assess your business's readiness for the e-wallet generation. Now, I saw a lot of people earlier in the day saying that they were looking forward to this presentation and another similar one coming up. I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow, but we'll see. John Matthew is a digital evangelist. I like that term. Responsible for the digital transformation and product delivery to the financial and supporting sectors. He's employed to the National Commercial Bank Financial Group's newest fintech called TFOB 2021 Limited as the Chief Product Officer supporting developers of Link, a team tasked with bringing disruptive innovation to the payment space. We've been hearing about Link already during today's session. He was previously employed by Credit Info Jamaica, that's Jamaica's first credit bureau, as the Chief Executive Officer responsible for digital transformation. John Matthew holds multiple Agile and project management certifications from the PMI, Scrum Alliance, and IC Agile, to name a few. And then we have Marc Gayle. He's the co-founder and CEO of TCP Things, a company that makes Jamaican products, including their signature One Bag of Things totes and funny Jamaican greeting cards. You may have seen these around. He has 2 decades of finance experience from many perspectives, ranging from investing to leading fundraising efforts for SMEs and entrepreneurs, mergers and acquisition advising, and more. He holds a BA in computer science from Eckerd College in Florida and an MBA with a concentration in finance from the University of Tampa. And Marc recently had a major win when one of the companies he's advised for many years, Edufocal, had a successful IPO on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Congratulations there, Marc. Well, let's welcome them as they discuss the topic, is your business ready for the e-wallet generation? Take notes.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, John. Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Khalila.
Yeah, when you hear these things, you feel really good about the achievements. And Marc, congratulations to yourself and Gordon for the successful IPO and acquisition of a tech company as well under Edufocal. Congrats.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, bro, and congrats to you too. Everything that you're doing at Link, and you guys are doing some great work over there. So big up yourself.
We're trying to change the landscape. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly introduce Link to the audience as it relates to how we are supporting businesses, and then we can get into our discussion around if your business is ready for the e-wallet generation, right?
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
All right, thanks. All right, so let's quickly talk about what's happening in the Jamaican landscape. And the Prime Minister would have mentioned something in January, the fact that he expects Jamaica to become, the newest IT corridor or innovation corridor for the Caribbean. I think that's a bold statement. It's very ambitious, but I think it's possible. A lot of talent leaves Jamaica to go to the first world to do the same things that I think we can do here. And one of these things is the fact that, through NCB Financial Group, we have started a fintech, locally grown fintech, to bring payment innovation to the space, and we're coming at rapid speed. So as it relates to payments, what we're seeing is roughly around $10 trillion worth of transactions happen across consumer business and the government. 50 million transactions annual at the point of sale, which means that they're using some type of physical yet digital instrument, like a credit or a debit card. Some persons can tap phones, etc. But some of the key players to the acceleration of digital payments, of course, is COVID. So what COVID allowed us to become more digital nomads. We're forced behind doors, but we still needed to provide commerce services. And because of that, a lot of small businesses and consumers started to shift online. We had the launch of Jamaica Digital Delivery Economy, which was a big thing. We were able to deliver food. Everybody was able to pay via cards or via cash on delivery. What we're seeing is electronic transactions are up 25% in value. So what we're seeing is a shift from cash to digital, and most of that is based on convenience, yet there's also safety. The Jamaican population, to me, is ready for digital adoption around payments. Not a lot of us have credit cards, but a lot of us have phones. So the plan is that we should be able to utilize an instrument that is common, like a mobile device, and add payment services to this device. It's not novel, it's not new. It's happening in other parts of the world, China, Europe, USA. And we're trying to bring that technology and that experience to Jamaica, but within the context of Jamaica, because Jamaica itself is unique. And of course, in support of all of this, the government, through the Central Bank of Jamaica, has launched their central bank digital currency called JDecks. And the idea of JDecks is to create frictionless payments across banks. It allows customers to sit down wherever they are and transact without having to physically be in that space. And most importantly, between consumers, payment through JDecks is free. So we're seeing a lot of supporting elements for this. ICT, as we know, would have been improved to support digital through COVID. Flow Digital have invested a lot into the infrastructure. So we should be seeing more reliable ICT across the island and more island coverage for data. So at Link, well, TFOB 2021 Limited is the company that I work at, and our first product is Link. Link in itself is a journey, but it's payment innovation. It starts out as a wallet, so it's available now in the Google Play Store, the iOS store for download. It allows consumers to add valuable assets to their mobile phone, which would be you can add your cards if you have a card. If you don't have a card, you can literally cash into the wallet. And from the wallet, which is called Link, you can then transact with friends and family. I'll show you how many merchants we have on board already. We launched in December, soft launch. We took Jamaica by storm in December. We didn't expect that type of response, especially for something so new. But since then, we have been onboarding a number of micro merchants. That's where we're focusing our energy now on the smaller merchants. But as we scale, you're going to see us more into the traditional and larger merchants, so you have more places to use Link. But our mission is to empower Caribbean people to pursue their dreams by using technology to revolutionize finance. So it's for the consumer to have the convenience of spending, but it's also for the merchant to provide options for consumers, for you to accept payments from your consumers. So both two sides of the platform. On the consumer side, it's fast and it's simple. It's secure. So, you know, I gave an example the other day, and I think it was Khalila Reynolds' show, Money Mondays, where, you know, you leave home and you leave your wallet. You might hesitate to turn back, but if you leave your phone, you're going to make a U-turn, right? And the phones themselves are very secure now. There's biometric, you know, your fingerprint, Face ID, and all these other things that secure the device. So the application sits within that secure portal, and we have added extra security to the application. And for us, it's about accessibility. It's easy to get a Link wallet. All you need is a government-issued ID and your face and an internet connection to download the app. We are partnering with the telcos to provide the app free of data usage. So we won't be using your prepaid data or postpaid data to use Link, but that's something coming very soon. We're currently with Digicel, but exciting times. And then on the merchant side, what we want to provide for the micro merchants all the way to the larger enterprises is frictionless payments. Imagine the day when you can walk into a store, you don't have your wallet in your back pocket, but on your phone, you have credit cards, debit cards, and you have literal cash that has been digitized and placed into your wallet, or you have CBDC. And you can walk up, you can purchase, you can, you know, get the goods that you want. You walk up to the point of sale and you tap on it and the payment is made. Or you scan a QR code, enter the amount, and then, you know, payment is made easy, frictionless, and contactless. You know, it's instantaneous, so it is very fast to make payments. I saw a WhatsApp message today between a customer and a party promoter around purchasing tickets, and the customer paid instantly. The party promoter said, "Look, I'll get the tickets to you soon, but I'm not as quick as Link." So the idea is that it is supposed to be very fast, and then of course it's safe. So even on the merchant side, people find ways to duplicate cards, and, you know, having it contactless also provides you with the security that your customers are safe within your organization. So to date, what we have over 700 small businesses that accept Link island-wide. Our marketing team is going to be working on some community drives, so we're going to get deep into the communities and ensure that our community is linked up. We have a lot of campaigns focused on the small merchants, so depending on how many transactions you do, we are going to provide the merchants with cashback opportunities. We're also going to be partnering with some government entities to ensure that we can provide, you know, small to medium business funding and vouchers. So look out for that with Link. The more we grow, our ecosystem is, the more attractive it becomes, and therefore the more we can offer. I want to play a video from one of our early merchants who is a barber. I'm hoping that, oh, it's web-based. Okay, I can't play the video, unfortunately, but I will share it through TechCon to the audience at some point in time. But it's a video about how one of our early adopters on the platform, as a barber, was able to utilize Link. And I'm not talking about Paul with Minister Clark. This is another barber named Mario, where he was able to utilize Link. A lot of the times you get to the barber, you don't have the cash. You know, the barbers don't have the facility to have a point-of-sale device to accept credit cards. So Link itself created that type of convenience and easy payment for the barber. It happens to me a lot where I go to the barber and I just don't have the cash. But yeah. So the Caribbean itself has taken an innovative approach to digital currencies. What we're seeing in general, digitally, for the consumer and for the merchant, is a plethora of opportunities coming up. Bahamas was the first out of the blocks to launch their digital currency called Sand Dollar. That's doing well. The Eastern Caribbean launched their central bank digital currency called Dcash, and then now Jamaica, not far behind, we launched JDecks through the BOJ. And it, as mentioned before, it in itself is to provide frictionless payments, especially for persons who need to do a lot of cross-bank transfers. It has, eliminated the barriers for cross-bank, and now you can transfer money between parties, irrespective of where you bank or not. You don't have to be banked to transfer funds. So a little bit on JDecks, showing the support of the government, and again, for the consumer and for small businesses. So Jamaica recently launched JDecks on March 8th. The minister did the first commercial transaction on JDecks in the pilot. Now we're updating the Link app to facilitate JDecks as a currency, and that you'll be able to access this month in April, looking like the end of April. Just a little history and background or myth busting, but the JDecks, the CBDC is pegged 1-to-1 to the Jamaican dollar. So it's a single exchange. It doesn't grow or it doesn't appreciate or depreciate different from the Jamaican dollar. And of course, what we would have seen is Minister Clark paid his barber, Paul, who is up there on the screen, the balance owing to him via JDecks instantly via the cell phone, right? So even though they were in the same physical location, they were both in Parliament. The idea is that you should be able to use your phone, search up the customer, the merchant, and then you'll be able to transfer funds to that person. So in Jamaica, the BOJ is developing a sandbox. So a lot of people are going to ask, how secure are mobile wallets? How secure is JDecks? Well, for us to operate in this environment, we have to fall under the regulatory framework of the Bank of Jamaica as a payment service provider, which is good for most Jamaicans. As you know, we do have a very secure and risk-averse financial system. So when a lot of the financial systems were crashing, we stayed up, which is good. So we have no problem conforming to the regulations imposed by the BOJ because we do trust them. So existing regulations in Jamaica though have to be updated to now facilitate the digital currencies, and with the launch of CBDC, we expect that. There are a lot of recent changes that would have been put in place, especially around the sandbox. And then the potential path forward is that we're going to start to see the BOJ interfacing with private entities like Link and TFOB to look at ways to move forward for digital currency, e-money, and of course, providing the best experience for the consumers and the merchants as they go about their day-to-day lives. So I am actually impressed by the way that the BOJ has become more forward thinking in terms of saying, look, our customers need to find ways of convenience. They're all digital nomads. We have a lot of millennials matriculating now into the workforce, and they're the big spenders. So we have to find ways to engage them, because if we don't, we're going to lose them to some online service that is not operated by Jamaicans within Jamaica, and most of that money then moves offshore. So for us smaller merchants and the micro merchants and even the larger enterprises, this type of initiative kind of ring fence us into an opportunity where we can provide, first class payment facilities to our customer base, but by keeping it within the Jamaican borders. So Link itself is changing the landscape. So We are not the first digital wallet to be launched in Jamaica. We have some predecessors before us. Luckily for us, we have learned a lot from their experience, right? So one of the big things that we want to do is enhance financial inclusion. With Link, opening an account is simply, it takes roughly about 5 minutes. All you need is a cell phone and your face. And then what we are doing at Link through payment innovation is accelerating Jamaica's agenda to be forefront of fintech. So no paperwork, you get the app. You can add a card if you don't have a bank account, no issue. If you have a bank account, you can add your credit card or a debit card, and you can start to cash in and interact with your peers or with merchants on the platform. So in 2022, what we're looking forward to seeing through Link, and again, we're just sharing with you the tip of the iceberg, but we're looking at accommodating cross-border payments, slightly like remittances, but would allow you to send money across borders. We're launching our merchant portal next month, or merchant side of the platform. So merchants will be able to onboard, utilize a portal where you can view your transactions. It's heavily secure. You can put up your QR code in store. You can put it online on Instagram. We're looking at also partnering with other large platform providers like Shopify or WooCommerce, where most of you already exist. But we know that it's a pain point to move funds from your Shopify account, which usually is tied to PayPal, to a bank account out here in Jamaica. You actually lose about 30% of the dollar when you look at all the conversions and fees required. So we're trying to provide you with that type of opportunity using your existing platform, but keeping the funds again within Jamaica. In the wallet for the consumers, we're looking at mobile top-up, bill payment, and a whole host of new functionality. And in flight, we will be launching. So the government would have announced that all digital wallet, the first 100,000 digital wallet holders starting April 1st will be entitled to $2,500 worth of JDecks. We are working closely with the NCB. NCB Bank is our partnering bank for JDecks to ensure that we have our wallet up and ready and available to add CBDC as a currency. So once we hit that 100,000 mark, we can start to disburse funds to the lucky 100,000. And there is still space. There's still space. I can't say a number, but there's still space for persons to sign up now to enroll into CBDC. But most importantly, what we're doing for the unbanked with Link is we are tapping into the NCB ABM network. Luckily, we are a part of the financial group. We're tapping into the NCB ABM network to allow unbanked or underbanked persons or non-NCB customers who don't have the facility of a card to go to any NCB IABM, select Link as an option, and add cash or remove cash from their digital wallet. That's a big plus, so you don't need a bank account and you can actually access banking infrastructure to cash in and cash out. So that was my quick introduction to Link, talking about the consumer and the merchant. And Mark, I guess we can get into a quick discussion.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess one of the first things that I wanted us to kind of flesh out is the difference between a digital wallet and CBDC, for example, right? So we know all this talk about JDecks, and you mentioned JDecks and BOJs, the digital dollar basically, right? But a digital wallet is literally just a store it's something you use to store that dollar, right? And I guess other either other dollars or other digital transactions. So in other words, digital wallet is the currency, right? It's just a hold of the currency that is used, right?
Right. So to quickly wrap that, it's so the wallet. So Link is a digital wallet that stores e-money, which is digitized fiat or digitized currency that we know now in cash, and then CBDC is another currency issued by the government. So what will happen is that Link will become a multi-currency wallet. So you can view your digitized Jamaican dollar, you can have your JDecks digital currency, and any other currency within the wallet. So to your point, Link is just a wallet that stores value and provides convenience for additional services like mobile top-up, bill payment, etc. But in Link, you can store multiple currencies, that being CBDC, J dollar, and anything else.
And to be clear, so CBDC is not crypto, meaning it's not confused with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these like cryptocurrencies. It's literally the opposite, right? So like crypto is decentralized. There's no central authority. It's managed by a whole heap of nodes on a network and whatever. Whereas CBDC, and JDecks is centralized, is issued by the central bank, just like our paper money. So a lot of people get that mixed up, so it's not the same thing at all. Another thing that I wanted to kind of like touch on is, so thinking about it from the I guess the merchant perspective or from the business perspective, right? Like, what are the considerations for us? So, like, I run a small business, right? And among other things, and one of the things that I have struggled with over the last, I don't know, 3-4 years is, we do all of our business, or a lot of our business on our website, via e-commerce. So we have a Shopify store, and I literally had to go and register a company in the US, get a US bank account. So every time somebody swipes, like, even if a Jamaican swipes with a Jamaican credit card on my website, it goes to Shopify, it goes to the payment processor in the US, goes to my US bank account, and then over time, once the balance builds up, then I'll, wire the funds in. So I really like the whole idea about, Link or any other, digital wallet provider having like a deep integration in Shopify, and whatever. But one of the things I want to kind of flesh out is, so like, what are some of the pros and cons that we can look at? Because the truth is, like, everything that you described, John, is awesome and it sounds great, but there are cons as well, right? So like, well, what are, I know we don't have much time, but all right, so let's just jump into some of the cons then, right? Like, what are some of the cons for a digital wallet in general from a merchant perspective?
All right, so adoption. So you want to get a digital wallet as a merchant because it provides a cheaper rail to collect money, but then digital wallets are new. So you would invest in the process, in the infrastructure to get a QR code printed, maybe a tablet or a phone on desk, and then you don't have the customers coming in to utilize the rail. So one of the cons is that it's new. It takes time for persons to adopt. Cash is still accepted everywhere, right? Universally. So there's going to be time before you get to ramp up where you can really truly benefit from the wallet. The second thing is, of course, Sheldon mentioned it in his presentation earlier, but once you're on the internet, then you are putting yourself at risk. The wallets work via internet connectivity. You put yourself on the internet, you collect money across the internet. So there's always risk involved. So we have ensured that we have put a lot of security in place around the wallet, around securing the merchant and the consumer, and the connectivity between both of them. Those are the two big things that I think we really want to focus on. The biggest risk, of course, is security, or con is security, and then adoption. We are 90,000+ customers that you have access to, but again, it's how you market it and where you are located, and the adoption rate within your community.
So speaking about security, so that's a great point, right? Because so that's one of those points where that's both a pro and a con, right? So it's a pro in the sense that, obviously, if I walk out of an ABM with $100,000 in my pocket, I'm an immediate target for robbery, right? But then the flip side to that is that, obviously, if you're keeping the cash or your e-cash in your digital wallet, then you're vulnerable to hackers. So how do you guys kind of like what are some of the considerations that well, I guess you go through the BOJ sandbox, right? And I guess I'm assuming that they stress test you and and go through, you do pen testing and all these different things to make sure that everything is all secure. So, and what happens if there's a the system is compromised? What happens to my cash?
So, all right. So two things. Outside of the sandbox, which is the regulatory framework that we operate under, there is also the fact that we have added our own device level security as well as portal level security. So we're talking about multi-factor authentication, encryption, transaction monitoring, all of the things to ensure that based on how you operate over time, we can see if there's an anomaly in your account usage. So if you realize that your business, your money is coming out more often than not, then it's red flag that you're contacted, etc. So we have put a lot of monitoring facilities in place. The second question, remind me the second question, Mark.
So it really was. I think you kind of like fully ventilated that in terms of the security. The second con that I wanted to kind of address is about availability, right? So cash is, cash doesn't require electricity. It doesn't require, digital and flow to be up and Wi-Fi to be working, right? Mm-hmm. So, but obviously, any digital wallet solution will require some amount of connectivity, some way, shape, or form. So, do you guys have failover, like a failover, mechanism, or how does that work?
So we have failover for connectivity once there's internet availability. So, but we don't have offline mode. So once you lose connectivity in general, then you lose the ability to use the wallet. So that is a big risk. That is why we have done multiple things. Wi-Fi accessibility is widely available now. There are data plans in place that people have, and then we are partnering with the telcos to, even if you run out on data, we do offer the service for free. We call it zero rated or toll-free data. With Digicel now, we're looking to do the same thing with Flow. In the event that all that goes down, then yes, your customers would lose the ability to transact with you, and vice versa. You'd lose, if you lose connectivity within your store and there's no other means of getting onto the internet, then you would also lose that connectivity with the customer. So that in itself is a big risk, but we trust that the telco providers have been improving the ICT over time, just based on the fact that we have more persons now operating digitally.
Yeah, I mean the timing is great because we're gonna let Khalila jump in real quick, but because the government has announced that they're going to be pushing additional ICT infrastructure and network connectivity island wide. One of the things that I think that's very, very exciting to me about the digital wallet generation, as a merchant or as a business owner, is that it opens up the markets that I have access to, right? So
right,
it makes it easier for me to sell to new customers that perhaps you never have credit cards before, never have debit cards, that couldn't buy from me easily, other than in a bank transfer or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty exciting to me as a merchant. So, but Khalila, I know we're running out of time. And there are a bunch of questions. You want to jump in and?
Yes, there are a ton of questions in the chat, which tells you that people are very, very, very interested in this topic. So let me get to some of the questions. Let me start with Sonika says, what do you mean you don't have to be banked? So how would one fund the wallet?
Oh, excellent question. So quickly, let me explain the process. So we're partnering with NCB to access the ABM. So you don't need a bank account. The ABMs are now cardless. So you go into the ABM booth, you select link as an option, and then it will present to you a QR code. You scan the QR code with your phone. There is an interaction and experience, and you tell the ABM what you want to do. I want to fund it. So you take out your hard cash, insert it into the ABM, and instantly the money is transferred to your wallet, and you can go and transact. Or if you have cash, if you have e-money in your wallet and you really need the cash for whatever reason, where link is not accepted, you can go to the ABM, say, hey, I want to cash out. You tell it how much you want. Once the balance is available, you get the cash out the ABM. You don't need to be an NCB account holder for that, and you don't need a bank account. So that's how we're going to allow the unbanked to tap into the wallet. And to follow up on that question, we're also looking at agreements with different agencies to provide cash in and cash out points across the island.
I heard you mention month end for integration with JDecks. So it's not April 15, because that's the date that I had heard before. So it's been delayed a bit?
It's been delayed a bit. We want to ensure that the experience that you get once you see that $2,500 in your wallet is delightful and it wows you. So we're pushing to have it available, by within April. But just to be safe, I would say end of April, you'll be able to view your benefit payment.
Okay. Jerome says, would this be able to be linked to Zelle or Cash App?
Good question.
Good question. The interoperability across apps is something that we're looking into. Cash App does offer a card which you can eventually use with Link. Right now, that's unavailable until we go through some regulatory discussions. But as it stands, to answer Jerome's questions, no, Link and Zelle and Cash App are not friends right now, but we'll be friends sometime soon.
By the way, quick question, if I may jump in. So in the Link app, will JDecks be separate from, I guess, your normal balance?
Yes.
So it'll be clear what is JDecks from what is
right.
not.
So you'd see a JDecks balance and you'd see your regular e-money or Link balance. They'll be totally separate.
Okay.
Norval wants to know, is there any goal for a payment webhook for custom software or website?
Yes, so we are launching our merchant portal, and the portal itself would have accessibility to APIs and webhooks. So if you have you have companies that build storefronts for customers, websites, etc., and they even have their own custom sites and require, they want to create their own experience. So we won't dictate that. We'll provide with the APIs and webhooks so you can add link via secure token too.
Your website.
Your website, right?
That's
Or
awesome.
mobile
I'm
app.
looking forward to that. So we're supposed to be taking a comfort break now, but I'm going to go a few minutes into the comfort break since we have so many questions. Reynaldo says, can or how would Link work with respect to mobile apps?
Okay, so Link itself is a mobile app. So let me see if I can decipher that one. Link is a mobile app. And if you are a merchant, let me go on the merchant side of the equation. If you're a merchant and you have a mobile app that you use to interface with your customers, then we will provide you with the SDKs and the APIs to accept Link as a payment channel within your mobile app. I'm hoping that I answered the question properly.
Okay.
I think that's what he was referring to. Is is there some sort of like, kind of like platform, integration that I can, as a merchant, if I have a mobile app, that I can integrate, Link with on the back end of my mobile app.
That's coming soon. We're starting with the web, but our next release, which would be sometime June, July, would also have the ability to install or integrate Link into your native app.
Right. So the organizers are telling me that we can eliminate the last break so that we can take the questions since there's so many.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ronaldo wants to know, why can't I add a bank account other than NCBs?
All right, Ronaldo, good question. So, we are a part of the financial group. So naturally, the first bank for us to pilot linking an account, it would be NCB. So we are also in talks with other entities to see if we could get them to join the platform and allow you to add your bank account directly to the wallet. However, if you have another bank account, Sagic or BNS, FGB, you can use your debit card, which is linked to your bank account, and add that to Link and then cash in. So it's not as sexy and convenient as adding the bank account directly, but you can still utilize a debit card and cash into the wallet, irrespective of the bank that you bank with.
Okay. Heather Wong Franklin says, the flow can be stemmed. Is it possible to not go wallet and still be able to thrive in this environment?
So that's a tough question coming from a company that's developing a wallet. So, we are there are opportunities to not be wallet centric, but that's our focus right now, just because of the convenience that it provides with the mobile devices. So you might see web-based storage opportunities, value storage opportunities. I don't know what those would be called, but it's either a card, a bank account, or a wallet right now. And
I mean, so let me just jump in on that. I mean, the truth is that it is just from a user interface or a user perspective, the wallet is so much better, an application, right? Like imagine you are, you're trying to manage multiple currencies or multiple balances, multiple cards. Like doing that without a wallet is a nightmare. And you think about it in real life, right? Like, sure, you can put your cash and you can put your cards in your pockets without a wallet or in your bag, but is it tidy? Is it organized? Is it easy to retrieve? Like, no, So yeah, I think a digital wallet is inevitable. I think what's great about this and what I love about what Link is doing is that, it will provide a lot of impetus and competition, because other people are likely to enter the space, and so Link is kind of like setting the bar at a certain place. So everybody that comes after has to at least, meet the bar or try to jump the bar, and then, that will keep Link on its toes, and then Link will keep them on its toes. So it's a very exciting time for Jamaica, in my view.
Mm-hmm. Sashan wants to know, is Link covered under JDIC?
No, Link is not covered under JDIC. JDIC is related to deposit-taking institutions.
Right.
So, I think we have a regulatory talk next, but yeah, we're not covered under JDIC as a payment service provider.
Sonika Jerry asks, is there a web portal to use Link? I have too many apps on my phone.
Unfortunately, no. So
you have to use the app.
Right. The web for the consumer unlocks a lot of scamming opportunities. There's phishing and smishing that's taking place now. So we try to keep it in the phone. The native apps are more secure, a little more secure than web portals, and we want to keep it there. And then the phone themselves come with some type of high level security that we want to tap into. So Not yet. You're going to have to add another app to your phone, unfortunately. So save some space for Link, please.
Christopher James asks, on the Link app, will the different forms of currency be differentiated? Example, will the JDecks currency be displayed separately from any JMD added to the account, or will JMD added be converted to JDecks?
No, so it will be separated because you can transact directly in JDecks. So you'll see the AKI, and you'd see the balance related to the JDecks that you have in your wallet. You'd see your regular digitized Jamaican dollars, JMD. And then if we do happen to add other currencies, you'll also be able to differentiate all your currencies in the wallet.
All right. And our last question comes from Stephen. Where do you stand in preventing proceeds from scamming?
Right. So that's big for us. We deal with money. And we deal with money for people who are unbanked, who usually keep money in the bosom and on the mattress and that type of stuff. So we have to ensure that we create an environment of trust and security. So we have hired a team around it 24 hours. We are doing every single thing to ensure the app is secure. We have incorporated biometric technology just in the onboarding. And then if you need to add bank accounts, it taps back into your phone's biometric before you can add an account. So if I take Marc's phone and happen to get into the app, don't know how I would, but I happen to get into the app, even if I want to add a bank account, it's going to ask me for, if Marc's phone is fingerprint enabled or a face ID, it's going to ask me to see my face and I don't look like Marc, so therefore I wouldn't be able to add a bank account and move the money out. So we're looking at multiple ways to ensure we protect it. No, do we stop here? No, it's a continuous evolution. The scammers don't stop. They learn every day and they try new things every day. So we are always in a constant fight with them. But security is big for us. It's something that's built into every component of the app that we do right now.
So those seem to be the questions. There are many comments in the chat. So John, Matthew, and Marc, you guys can go through it and respond individually if you so choose. Sure, but we have another presentation coming up. Thank you so much, John, Matthew.
Thank you for having me.
Marc, Gayle.
Thanks, Gayle.